this guy who is coming on his full complement of time. You've read him in the Marina Times. You've seen him kicking around the city. Mega Dubs fan, Mega Giants fan, and a fan of music, of movies, of television. He's remarkable, and he comes and goes on a rainbow. How about it for Michael Snyder, everyone? He is the culture blaster, as they've called him. Michael, welcome, sir.
Hey, thank you, and hi, Kim, hi, Albert, and hello, Mark Thompson Show listeners. So now Putin is a movie critic? Oh, my God. I just hope he's not going to try to get me out of the way and take over my slot here on the Thompson Show. I will be avoiding any swarthy people with Russian accents and like tea bags, because who knows what's in that tea.
I'll tell you, it's true. You don't want any tea that's served by the Kremlin. Yes.
Mark, I have to say, I'm in Seattle for a few days to visit my brother and his family. And I know San Francisco and Los Angeles have had their problems lately, although I love both towns, except for those LA sports teams, which, of course, I detest. Go Dubs! But I fear Seattle is really going downhill, Mark. I checked out the Space Needle yesterday and was shocked to discover it's a syringe. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
No, I'm kidding. I love the people of Seattle. I love Seattle. Seriously. You want to get this?
I kid the people of Seattle. Let me tell you. Yeah. Hey, where are you from?
Hey, they may conspire with Putin to put a little poison in my Starbucks coffee. I don't need that.
What am I telling you? Hey, we're talking about the coffee up here. Everybody drinks coffee, you know?
It's crazy.
So, Michael, what massive, great, juicy entertainment projects can we partake of this weekend?
Let's look at this. And I don't know that this is for everybody, as I will explain. Beau is Afraid is the latest movie from the current master of elevated horror films, Ari Aster. That guy was the screenwriter and director of the terrifying, dread-inducing Hereditary and Midsummer. Amazing films, but it's a very different ball of discomfort here. Beau is Afraid is not very much like those other films, except, horror is horror, I guess, and there is implied horror. The Beau of the title, played in a no angst untapped style by Joaquin Phoenix, who's seriously the perfect actor for the part. This guy is a timid, broken man living in an urban hellscape of a neighborhood whose attempt to visit his domineering, well-to-do mother goes awry in the worst ways possible. In fact, things escalate over the course of his often derailed odyssey to the family home, especially when he learns of something unexpected awaiting him there. This is a marathon of nightmarish happenings where, like in a Warner Brothers cartoon, you're waiting for the next anvil to drop, or giant boulder, or grand piano to smash this poor sucker to smithereens. So considering what plagues Beau, the Coyote and the Roadrunner tunes had it lucky. So, Beau is Afraid is excessive. It's self-indulgent, even repellent, but it's sickly funny, skillfully executed, and it's riveting throughout. Get ready. It's nearly 3-hour running time.
What is it with directors now? They just, in this era, they cannot edit their own films. They're too long.
I said self-indulgent.
They do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for.
Exactly. They do it all the time. It is more and more the case,
And I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week.
Are there pictures in there, Michael, that we can
I
see?
was never bored for a second.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This
all
is
right. Maybe it works
is very much in a different mold from Aster's two previous movies, but like I said, it's as much of a horror film in its way as the others. Whether it's like a parable about the helplessness of the ordinary man confronting the sordid state of modern society, or maybe more likely a purge of the filmmaker's own inner paranoia and mommy issues as art therapy. Either way, it's disturbing and again, artfully crafted. I don't want to get too classic Greek tragedy about the mother-son stuff, but I'm surprised he didn't call it Oedipus Wrecked. Anyway,
oh, wow, really? Oh, wow. Tom, who watches ding words for us, repellent, he says, is a ding word. He says awry is a ding word. I think that's true. So, anyway, continue, please.
So Phoenix thoroughly commits to his character, wallowing in all of Beau's neuroses, and the same goes for Nathan Lane, Amy Ryan, Parker Posey, Patty
Wow.
Lupone, and a few other familiar faces
What
in
a
an unfamiliar
cast. Oh,
place.
my God.
Everybody wanted to work with Astor after seeing those other movies, and I don't know that they, bargained for this. It's not going to be for everybody, and I heard of critics yelling in vehement hatred and disdain at a screening, and at the end of the screening, they're screaming at the screen, and other people are applauding. But all the actors deliver, no matter how shocking the circumstances. And if you want my take, I recommend it for cinephiles and Astor fans with certain caveats. If you watch it, you're probably going to be upset at various moments throughout Beau is Afraid, and I think that's exactly what Astor intended. By the way, I know of a very discerning movie lover who has already seen it 3 times since it opened earlier this week, and obviously adored it. It's in theaters.
Wow, that's 9 hours of screen time.
I know. This guy apparently has time to burn. Is that it? I don't know. Anyway.
Apparently. Sorted, he says, is a ding word. Okay.
All right.
So you liked it, though. Didn't notice the incredible length necessarily. And but you say it's not for everybody. But the cast is insanely talented. So Hereditary is it Hereditary or Heredity? I forget what it's called.
No, it's called Hereditary. It stars Toni Collette as a woman who starts discovering secrets about her family.
Right. That is insanely disturbing. I mean, you can't get it out of your head disturbing.
Right.
It's not on that level of disturbing is what I'm asking.
It's a different kind of disturbing. It's a constant barrage of the horrors of everyday life amped up to 11.
Okay.
And this
Tom
poor
says
sucker's in the middle of
cinephile
it.
is a ding word, too. All right.
Sure.
Go ahead, Michael.
Okay,
What else do you have, please?
So he's best known for snarky UK gangster movies like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and The Gentleman. And I love both of those movies. And he's also done the occasional big-budget studio adventure or fantasy, like his Robert Downey Sherlock Holmes films. But director and screenwriter Guy Ritchie's latest is something else entirely. It's a gritty, legit-feeling war movie set during and in the aftermath of America's recent problematic foray into Afghanistan, delving into battleground bravery, determination, honor, and loyalty under fire. It's also, to my mind, one of the filmmaker's best, which may be why he titled it Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. Right? It's no ordinary run-of-the-mill Covenant. No. No, sir. It's Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, co-written and directed by Guy Ritchie. Anyway.
Foray is a ding word, Tom says. Okay, go ahead.
At its heart is the unlikely relationship between the sergeant of a U.S. Army unit and the dour Afghani interpreter under his command. And also covered in the film is America's treatment of those citizens of Afghanistan who helped in the fight against the Taliban. The soldiers led by Sergeant John Kinley, played in very canny, no-nonsense style by Jake Gyllenhaal, are tasked with rooting out and destroying Taliban weapons caches with the assistance of interpreter Ahmed, played by Dar Salim, with a quiet air of deadly efficiency. So when Kinley and Ahmed are forced to flee an in-country ambush, circumstances forge a bond between these two very dissimilar individuals. The Covenant is as much about trying to repair broken promises as it is about white-knuckle firefights, and as much as it is a tale of survival against daunting odds. The performances and the drama here are powerful, and the scenes of warfare and survival are wrenching. Guy Ritchie should be proud of Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, which is in theaters this weekend.
Wow, apparently he is proud. Good. That sounds like a winner.
Okay.
I love the Guy Ritchie stuff, just as do you. What else do you have?
Chevalier has undeniable virtues and a couple of cringy moments that one can forgive because of the rousing elements and the righteous introduction of its subject. Directed by Stephen Williams, Chevalier is a plush and lush-looking quasi-biopic about a true outlier in 18th century France, the brilliant biracial violinist and composer Joseph Boulogne, a.k.a. the Chevalier de Saint-Georges. So I say quasi because there's a lot of conjecture. And to be frank, there are a few cliched moments, especially in the opening minutes of the movie. I don't want to spoil it, but the opening minutes feature a violin face-off between Bologna and, no lie, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart at a Mozart concert, and it's shot like a battle of the guitars between Clapton and Jimi Hendrix.
That's great. I love
So,
that.
yeah, but talk about Bologna, if you know what I mean. Anyway, that sort of piffle is ultimately overshadowed by the efforts of the cast, some top-level talent led by Kelvin Harrison Jr. as the dashing but tormented Bologna, Lucy Boynton as his patron, Queen Marie Antoinette, Samara Weaving as love of his life, Marie Josephine, and Martin Sokas as his nemesis and Marie Josephine's jealous, racist husband, and also fabulous settings, sets, and costumes. It's really enlightening to learn about this remarkable but comparatively little-known man and hear some of his beautiful compositions that have been unearthed over the years. Chevalier may smack of, I don't know, postmodern candy, but if it introduces the deserving Bologna to a larger audience, that is sweet. Chevalier's in theaters.
Wow, terrific. Michael, we have time for one more.
Well, let's talk about Ghosted because, people will be able to see it on Apple Plus, and I thought it was a wasted opportunity with two charismatic stars, Chris Evans and Ana de Armas, a lot of talented and well-regarded supporting players, and a lot of fancy action on the screen. And the problem is it's stunted, and there are a lot of stunts, by a script that starts out with the promise of a fizzy romantic comedy featuring mismatched partners. He's a book-smart farm boy, and she's an international sophisticate who meet at a Washington, D.C.'s farmer's market.
Wow.
But when he starts obsessing over her, tracks her to London, and is mistaken for an arms dealer by evil middlemen, it's revealed that she is a coldly calculating CIA agent who has to save his ass. I know. They begin bickering, and the movie turns noisy, clumsy, and predictable with callbacks to better adversarial action rom-com. Will they survive the onslaught of spies and assassins? And will they get past their differences to find true love? Seriously? Anyway, Captain America and Marilyn Monroe. Oh, sorry. Evans and the Armas.
Okay, there you go.
Evans and the Armas are likable and very good-looking leads who were also both in the cast of Knives Out, by the way, so they know one another. Oscar winner Adrian Brody plays the main heavy. Plus, there are a few lightning-quick cameos that are going to delight fans of a certain cinematic universe and a couple other sci-fi franchises. Plus, there is a massive climactic set piece and some generation-jumping needle drops that are impressive to an extent, but none of it allows Ghosted to transcend its flat derivative screenplay. Again, it started streaming today on Apple TV+.
Dour is a ding word, says Tom. I think that's probably fair. And adversarial is a ding word. Yeah, it is. I'll give him that too.
Well, I do want to say before we bail out, I want to say quickly that I'm suffering from video withdrawal as The Mandalorian and Star Trek Picard stream their season finales and maybe series finales this week. But Ted Lasso on Apple Plus continues with all the uplift and charm, and the violently hilarious HBO comedy Barry is back for what I hear is its final season with Bill Hader's.
I love Barry. Barry is
Bill
really
Hader's
well done. Yeah.
Misbegotten assassin now captured and in prison, and I would bet soon sprung to cause havoc. Hader is phenomenal, as are Stephen Root, Sarah Goldberg, Anthony Carrigan, and series MVP Henry Winkler. Love Barry. That's about it on the TV front.
Terrific.
I found a really good series last night. It's on Netflix, and it's called The Diplomat. And I guess it has some of the same writers as The West Wing. So
right. Kerry Russell, who was so good in The Americans.
Yeah,
I got to look at it. I got to look into it, Kim. Good call.
Yeah.
All right. And Lori agrees in the chat. Just to review what the Culture Blaster was talking about, Beau is Afraid is the disturbing film from a director who can really bring on the disturbing. And this project is really well acted. You liked it. You said it's 3 hours long, and you didn't even notice how long the film was. It was that enthralling. It's in theaters.
But it's very divisive. Very divisive. Other people are going to get up and scream.
Yeah, it's I guess it is. It's a horror film to remind everyone. Beau is Afraid is that one. The Covenant is the Guy Ritchie gritty war movie. In fact, it's called Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. Stars Jake Gyllenhaal in an effort, from what it sounded like, to get out. Was it a translator or something? Or at least working with some who we worked with in Afghanistan. And I say we, meaning the Americans, and the effort to do that. Is that a fair summary? It's in theaters now.
Eventually it comes to that, but first there's the bonding under fire.
I see. Okay, yeah, it's a war movie and an action movie. So.
And a good one.
And a good one. Yeah, he likes it, and it's in theaters. One of his best, actually, is what Michael said. One of Guy Ritchie's best. Chevalier is another one that he liked. I got that you didn't love Chevalier. You liked it. Is that fair?
Yeah, I thought it was beautifully done, but again, there were some obvious moments and some pandering here and there. But you can't fault the beautiful art direction. The acting was first rate, and it's a great story for people to know because this is a guy that people don't really know about.
Yeah, true story. Pandering is a ding word. Ghosted is the Chris Evans Ana de Armas piece that could have been so much more with these hot firecracker actors with the rom-com energy. So much going on. Spies, espionage. Who's for real? Who's not? But you felt like ultimately it missed. And,
yeah, it was no romancing the stone. I'll tell you that.
It's on Apple TV. Yeah, for those who want to check it out. Michael, I'll take 15 seconds on the Dubs, please, as a Dubs fan.
Well, I'm heartbroken that the NBA tried to make a big show of suspending Draymond Green for a game. But boy, oh boy, when you have to defend Jordan Poole and Steph and Clay in the starting lineup, who do you defend? They came out on fire. And, I guess Poole was in his comfort zone. Sometimes he makes some bonehead plays under pressure, but they steamrollered the Kings last night. Let's hope they do it again on Sunday. Go Warriors.
Looney was pretty terrific too. Yeah, really. Oh my God. Yeah.
20 rebounds. Are you kidding me? Yeah, are you joking?
Crazy talented. You can read him in the Marina Times. You can find him here on Fridays. When will we see the first AI-generated movie? I think it's soon is the answer to that, Mackay. Wouldn't you agree with that, Michael?
Yeah, well, dude, apparently ChatGPT wrote that movie Ghosted from the looks of it.
What the hell is going on in the United States of America?
Oh, Mike Ron with his voice went up.
What the hell is going on in the United States of America?
There it is. But it's true. I think parts of some of these movies are being punched up by ChatGPT. That's my sense. And it's one of the big questions that the Writers Guild is going over now in their negotiations. What should be permitted? So it's a really on-point question.
I saw an external hard drive on the picket line. I couldn't believe it.
It comes and goes on a rainbow. Bye-bye, Michael. Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.